we were going to jump in to the next round as Ragna had noticed some more folks joining the fray. So let me move everybody back. So previously, you made your way from Maidshire upon the Winter Gull with Captain Trost. She agreed to take you to the general area that you wanted to go, which is Zenambra and Israel, for free, so long as you would assist in going to this pirate outpost and killing all the pirates, as the pirate ship Executor and Captain Osram and his crew had recently begun kidnapping people, which is out of the ordinary. As opposed to just stealing loot, they were taking people. So they took a large number of crew members from the White Gull, including the captain's husband, Benjamin. So you decided that you had various plans that you would attempt to make once you got to this place. You chose initially to stealth around, and then Griswold just acted like a drunken guy and got close and tried to stab somebody and missed. And then all hell broke loose. A guy took off running, rang a bell, everybody woke up and started attacking. You killed everybody that you could see, and then in the distance, up to the north here, there were more people. So everybody roll initiative, because that's what we'll be doing.
Woohoo!
Just so I know, what spell slots were used for me? Was it just two first level spells?
Yeah, so they should be ticked off.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I just forgot something at one point.
Nope, I did that. I did those.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I tried to be fancy and use a third level spell slot, and pretty much did nothing.
Kind of pirate sounding music. Callum is first.
Callum can't actually reach this person from where he is. So he is just going to move up a little bit. Just... if I can make it move. There we go. Oh, maybe I can reach that person. I can. So Callum is just going to run into this room. What do I see in here, other than these people?
Cages and what appears to be like a torture table.
Fun.
And an
Well, I had
exit
to use...
to the west, or to the east.
had to use all my movement to get to here, so let's just throw a couple staff strikes and see where we get. (14) and a 23.
14 misses.
Okay. 7 bludgeoning on the one hit. And then, since that connected, we're going to throw an unarmed strike as well. But a 10 is definitely a miss.
Indeed.
So that is Callum's whole turn.
All right. And also, what's the... I forget now. What's the... Is this Arvid's slow terrain here?
Yep.
Yeah, I can drop that when it comes to me. It was Erupting Earth.
Yep.
If you drop Erupting Earth, I don't think the terrain goes away.
I have no idea. I'll read it now.
I don't think there's concentration on Erupting Earth. I think it's just there.
All right, it's Ragnar's turn. While you figure that out.
Yeah,
Yay.
it's just there.
Okay,
Okay.
great. For actually at this point it would be. Oh shoot, we didn't roll for Griswold either. Does anybody want to play Griswold? Because I can't. I don't know how to play rogues.
I can do it. I know the first thing he would do.
Stab the unconscious guy next to him.
Yes.
I was thinking that too. I was like, oh, Mike's not here. Maybe one of the people I didn't murder will live. It's okay.
All right.
Callum
Terry,
sees
you
the stab
should-
wounds. Griswold's just going to get a babysitter in all the future combats.
Yes.
You should see him.
I
and
see
I'll
him.
I'll just roll initiative for him here.
Okay.
Oh, good. He actually rolled terrible, so he stays right. He's where he should be.
Nice.
Yeah, still above me.
Yeah, I'll move him up there. All right. Go ahead. Sorry.
So Ricta's gonna go there and then use her action to to set off her radiant soul. And you see two white feathered wings with some kind of gray violet feathers in there as well.
So you're flying now.
Yeah.
They should have a wing thing, but those look kind of like wings.
Oh yes. I feel like there was one with like
There is a
an
wing.
angel or something.
Where is it?
There's this.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. For whatever reason, when I was doing it before, it wouldn't scroll down. So yeah, now. So I only saw like the first couple of rows.
Gotcha.
Perfect. Alrighty. It is the guy that Callum swung at's turn. So he will scream in your face, and he'll actually go back and yell and say, make sure the captain's out of here. And then he will attack you twice.
Go for it.
A 19 and a 20.
Those both hit.
So that is 14 points of slashing damage.
There's a reason I stay back from these.
This guy will jump up and attack you as well.
All right.
And miss wildly with 2 7s.
Yep.
All right, Johan, you are in difficult terrain. So then your next 3 steps looks like 2 steps are doubled.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have far to go. I'ma just do this thing. Sorry, I roll that twice for the crit, right?
It's already included.
For that +4.
No, because cantrips rolled 2 dice at this level, right?
Yeah, and it rolled 2 dice on
Yeah.
the second one.
What do you mean? I'm sorry.
It already
Oh,
rolled it.
Sorry,
The
I
plus,
see what you're saying.
the plus
Yeah,
4
one-
is 2d8.
Yeah, it's a 1 and a 3.
I got you. When I scrolled over it, I saw 6. I got you. Okay.
So which is it? Who are we?
Just the
Okay.
closest guy.
He's dead.
Okay, and then what is that? 17. I guess I'll give 5 point. Who's hurt right now?
Pretty much everybody but you. And
Yeah,
I.
Griswold's pretty hurt.
Griswold's
Uh,
quite bad off. Callum, I think, is now at about half.
Ragna's also about half.
Okay, well, since Callum's currently in the thick of it, I'll give 5 points of healing to him.
Cool.
I think it's 5. Let me double check.
I won't be in there for long.
Yeah, I thought I'd throw just one of those regular bandits in there with 11 hit points just for fun. So. right, it's the guy up here. So, Ragnar, are you like in the air?
I would say just like not like high in the air, but floating slightly.
This guy's gonna attempt to attack you.
Yep.
And he will miss on both of them as you're. He's a little distracted by the fact that you're floating in the air with wings, and
Yay.
it is Griswold's turn.
Okay, Griswold's gonna kill this fellow. Stab him with a dagger. And then 30. Uses bonus action to.
It's not like just the imagery of him just like reaching down and stabbing and then running.
And that's how far you can get.
Arbid.
I can get to about here with my action if I go around it then enter. Just looking at angles. I mean, I'm gonna aim for that one, but I assume I'm at like half cover or some shit.
Probably. Depending on what you're doing, I suppose. Because I mean, some spells don't require you to actually be able to like see. So if you're like,
Oh no, I'm just gonna make like a cantrip attack. I'm just like with the people behind me and the angles. I just assume like extra cover. Oh, 27.
on this guy, I assume.
Yes. And he needs to make a strength save to see if he remains on his feet.
17.
Yep. That's me.
All right, Signe.
I'd like to follow Callum. I believe he went up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's nothing down. Callum was down there and just went zipping by.
That should be 30. I don't believe I passed any enemies, so
You have 40 feet of movement, don't you?
Yes, she
oh my
does.
god, I keep forgetting. Go after that pirate man.
A lot of damage.
Right? I should still be raging, so.
You wouldn't be because we drop combat.
Then I would like to bonus action raged first.
Cool. Alrighty, so you kick the crap out of that guy. He's looking annoyed and injured.
And I
it is-
believe that's all I can do.
You can whistle for Aster. She's still hanging out in the back
Oh,
by
that's a
herself.
free action. Heck yeah, I'll whistle for her.
So we'll move her up. We'll give her a little extra step. So she stops at the erupting earth a little bit, like, what the hell is this? And it is Callum's turn.
All right. Seeing that one of them just got murdered right next to him, but this other bandit pirate person still standing, just to think you'd rather fall to me than them. And he's gonna swipe once at this guy with his staff. Ten is a wicked miss. But as it
Deflects it with his scimitar.
Yeah. But as it goes near his face, Callum can slip away because he's mobile. This gentleman, he's going to come up behind and go for just like a kidney punch on with an unarmed strike.
Yep.
9 bludgeoning, and I will absolutely add a hand of harm to that. So 9 bludgeoning, 8 necrotic, and he is poisoned.
So yeah, you punch him in the kidneys, and you hear just him sort of yell out like, "Ugh!"
Yep. And as he's standing there staggering, Callum will go for just another body blow to the back, since that's where he's at. $14?
Nope.
Okay. Whiffs that one, but he's mobile again, so 5, 10. Yep. And he likes that spot because they have to go. Yep. So that's his turn.
All right.
You have to go through your friends.
Yeah, they have to provoke op attacks from the paladin and the barbarian to reach him.
Coward.
Okay. Regna is going to slash at this guy. And her sword is now shining with a radiant light. She's gonna attack him twice. Missed the second time, but the first time.
Probably gonna kill him. Yeah, he's dead.
Okay. And then she is going to hear them, or had heard them yelling about getting the captain away, so she's gonna take off flying 5. She is floating over the table.
Alrighty. This guy's going to jump up on the table and try and swing at you.
Yeah.
How rude.
And miss wildly. Just, yeah. 13 and an 8.
Dazzling wings. Shining sword.
Alright. Johan. There's a guy on a table swinging at a flying Ragna, and that's all that you can see. And a couple dead guys.
I will attempt to drain his life energies. Does a 12 hit?
It is not.
Then that is it for me.
Alright. It is Griswold's turn.
Okay. Griswold will 5, 15, 20. He would go help Regna, I feel, and attack with his Shadow Song. Gets this one.
That definitely hits.
And
Against sneak
then,
attack.
oh yes, for sneak attack. And then offhand, short sword.
Yep. All hits. All damage.
Yay.
Alright. Arvid.
Okay, so that's 10. 30. I'll spend my action just for extra movement. $30.
It is Signa's turn.
Well, one went through. There we go.
Are you rolling your barbarian ability?
I am. I just noticed though I'm missing the Divine Fury.
Yeah, that's what I was. Couldn't remember what it was called.
All right. So the first one does hit, and we'll include that fury there. And yeah, he's looking pretty screwed up right now. Stabbed with a sword, stabbed with a dagger, stabbed with an axe. Well, sliced with an axe, I suppose. Also, is it? Yeah. So slashing damage, and if it ever strikes your fancy, Sam, what you can do, if you look at like the image of Wyvern's Bane, if you want to flip it around and cause piercing damage with the essentially the spike on the back, you can do that as well, just for flavor because it
Oh,
doesn't
that
really
makes
matter.
my heart so happy. I like that option. Thank you.
Unfortunately, in 5e, it doesn't really make any difference what type of damage it is most of the time, especially.
Honestly,
You
there's
know-
like, there's literally just like less than 3 creatures, I think, in the whole monster manual that it's a difference between bludgeoning and slashing,
Yeah, but it's cool.
piercing.
I mean, the types of magic damage tend to be more important than martial damage. But anyway,
Mhm.
just for fun, if you want to spike somebody in the head, it's, you can do that. Callum, it is your turn.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Callum is going to. There's only one guy left
That you can see.
that he can see, and you said he's looking pretty beat up.
Oh yeah, he's looking really, really rough, and probably looking around, like, oh god, I need to get out of here. But he's obviously surrounded by 4 of you, so
Yeah. So Callum's going to throw some strikes with the quarterstaff as he comes in, just again like aiming for like torso, ribs, all that fun stuff.
yeah. So you can sweep him off his feet. He's gonna fall on his back, and then with that 15, you can smack him again. So they both hit.
Okay, so 6 and 10.
And he is down.
He is unconscious. And knowing
Be
that,
stabbed.
yeah. And then since Callum's got a little bit of movement left and he's unconscious, he's just going to pull up to about here, trying to see around this little corner. That's his turn. I think I could only get there.
All right, Ragna, you can probably see out the exit that there are more
Yes.
people. So if you choose to continue, I'll roll them into the initiative. If you want to stop, because they do not appear to be charging you at any point, it's up to you. I will let you decide what the party does.
Regna continues.
All right.
5, 10. She still yells, "There's more over here!" A lot more over here.
Indeed. Quite a few more. Not a lot, but some.
Fireball.
Yes, Regna throws up her shining radiant sword and just casts fireball randomly. The chaos
you're a
brought
warlock
to you
now.
by Fae. Not quite yet.
She hasn't actually taken it yet. Wow, what is... Wow. Roll20 is just so screwed up. So this thing here, I'll do a... So this creature you're about to fight...
A revenant, right?
Yeah.
This is
So
hard.
when I rolled it on the initiative, Roll20 said it was a red fairy dragon.
Ooh.
That's a sexy red fairy dragon.
Yes, indeed.
And
right.
actually, Regna's going to use her action to toss a javelin at. Is there anyone here she would assume is captain?
Probably not.
Okay.
No one. I mean, this guy here or this guy here could potentially. They look like pirates. The other three don't look like pirates.
Okay. Well, I feel like she can't go further, so she's just gonna toss a javelin at this guy.
Okay.
Um, toss a javelin. Fail miserably.
It hits this little statue over here. Give me a second here. Callum.
Yes.
Nope. It's. Sorry, this was not. It's Johan. Sorry.
Oh, let's see. Wait. It's my turn in the. Oh, sorry, because the numbers looked.
Well,
messed
they
up
they
for a
are
second
they
there.
are messed up, and I'm not sorting these guys. I'm just letting you guys all go first, and then we'll just let them go.
I'm still just chilling their bones while I try to get closer. You guys are killing them too quickly.
We're too good at our jobs.
Does a 15 hit
Which who are we?
this guy?
Yes.
A whole 2 damage on
Every-
2d8.
Every point counts.
Yeah, that's it for me though.
All right. It is Griswold's turn.
Question is, would Griswold kill right in front of Callum?
No, he specifically made a point of waiting till Callum didn't notice last
That
time.
is true. That is true. Okay, then he's going to.
Does he want to find a bow somewhere?
I don't want to bring him. Yeah, I don't think he would go totally into the fight yet, so I'll put him right there.
All right. Arvid.
I'm going to spend 25 feet of movement to come here, and I'm going to try and open the door.
It is locked.
Well, okay.
I mean, so this is a weird thing. I was lazy on the dynamic lighting, because it is technically a cage, so there are bars, and so you can actually see through it. I just didn't. I just knocked it off, and there's nobody. It's empty. So
I will slightly change my
Yeah.
action then.
yeah. So you here. I'll just see if I can remove this without.
Nice. Is that the same on the north one too?
I just removed the. Initially, I just went with the explanation that you could like not see exactly what was going on there, but now that you're in the room, it makes sense.
So that's 30. And let's do what is so far my signature spell. As I exhale some smoke, and smoke like vines start appearing beneath the legs of the people out there. As I cast Entangle.
Where are you casting it?
Didn't we have the Entangle thingy? We did, there it is. Right there.
Already.
And considering Ragnar is up front, I'm going to, in Sylvan, say heal and use 2 counts of the balm. That's 2d6 healing.
Thank you.
It looks like they need to do it now, so it looks like they need to do strength saves now,
Yeah.
and then on their turn they can attempt to get out if they fail.
So
So
you,
what was this?
yeah, you heal 8 and gain 2 temporary.
Okay, the big guy saves, the other guys don't. So
Makes sense.
and also I'm gonna move this currently. I'm gonna move the entangle to the map so that I can move my tokens.
Yeah. Like I said, I just dragged it on there so we would have an idea of how big it was.
All right, Signe. Also, I'm sorry. Did Griswold stab that guy?
No, because he wouldn't do it in front of.
Oh, okay. He's a secret.
He'd wait until Callum leaves the room, like he did
and
last
then run
time.
back.
Yep.
Signe doesn't have those reservations.
I mean, that guy on the floor is unconscious.
The guy's lying on the table here.
Oh, he is
yeah.
unconscious. Okay, just
Yeah,
double
yeah.
checking.
He could be dead, for all you would know in the moment.
$35. Okay.
Javelin.
Probably.
Who are you throwing it at?
No, that's a good question. I have a lot of options.
You do. That will miss him. That would hit him.
And I'm satisfied.
He definitely dodges one, and as he sort of like, a little chip on his shoulder, like, ha! Then the other one comes raining down and like hits him in the shoulder.
Haha.
Callum.
All right. Well, seeing that there's more fighting going on, and not yet knowing that people are murdering his people he's knocking unconscious. Ooh, I don't think I can get close enough. Yeah, so Callum is just gonna go scoot up here to get a little bit better shot. Take it, this is the one who just got javelined.
Yes.
Cool. Callum will redraw the little strip of fabric from his waist, and he'll fire off 2 sling bullets at him.
All right. David and Goliath here.
Yeah, 15 bludgeoning. But that's all he can do from here, so that's his turn.
This guy's going to fill the gap in the exit here and swing. So far, these guys have missed Ragnar every time. And a 7 and a 17, I believe, misses again.
Yep.
Continue that trend. Ragnar is unkillable now.
Yes. So, this guy, having been plunked by a javelin and 2 rocks, will actually sort of like move a little bit here, and then he is going to throw daggers at Ragnar. A 24 and a 25.
Oh,
25. 25 is a crit, too.
Ooh.
So the first one is 6, and the crit, that's hilarious. So the first one is 6 points of piercing damage, and the crit is 5 points of piercing damage.
Love to see it.
Yeah, it always makes you feel nice when you roll a low damage crit.
All right, it is the red fairy dragon's turn. So you all actually, well, for those of you that are, Ragna Signe probably could see this. So there is this very large, sort of like obviously dead thing out here. So it will move here.
Yeah, so it's just reminding myself, it's difficult terrain as well.
Yeah, so that's as far as he can move. And Ragna, make a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh. Wisdom. Wow.
You are paralyzed until this creature does damage to you.
Yay.
You see, so as he walks up out of these brambles, you make eye contact with this creature, and like your body just freezes, and you would obviously stop. I would assume you would stop flying essentially at this point, and so you're paralyzed on the ground at this point.
Okay.
All right, and so Signe, this guy, is that guy? No, it's the other guy. It's this guy. He's actually just going to move up a little bit in the brambles, and you see this sort of sickly greenish. I take it back. He's not going to do that.
Is he restrained?
As I said, he's not going to do that.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not using it whilst I'm still reading over it.
Let me see what he can do.
Yeah, because I think it's an action to make a strength check.
That sounds right.
And it's versus my spell save, which I think is a 15. Yeah.
Mm. So restrained is that he can't move, so he's going to go back to where he was. And he fails badly. Strength save. So he's just going to stand there. And then it's the other guy's turn. He's going to try the same thing. This is a good spell. Oh, I was going to say this is a good spell for them because they're weak, but he actually rolled an 18.
Well, shit. At least it'll still use action to break free.
Mm-hmm. And he's still in difficult terrain. Unless he wants to use his movement this turn to try to get out.
She is. And that is his movement, but he can't do anything else. So it is Ragna's turn. She's paralyzed.
She's paralyzed. I assume she can do nothing while paralyzed. Is there a vocal spell she can do?
Paralyzed creatures incapacitated, can't move or speak.
Okay, never mind. She can do nothing. She's there.
You are paralyzed until the red fairy dragon attacks you.
Yep.
It is Johan's turn.
Never mind.
Damn, you guys made quite the kerfuffle up in there, huh?
Seems like they did.
Actually, I am going to try to cause fear on this guy and get him to move out of the doorway. So he needs a DC 15 Wisdom save.
4.
Or becomes frightened until the spell ends. Oh wait, sorry. Sorry, that doesn't actually make him run away.
It will on his turn. It means he has to get away from you.
No,
No.
it says that
He
he
just
just
can't-
can't move closer to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so never mind then. I will just.
Yeah,
The-
he can't willingly move closer towards you.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
fear spell forces them away, but the fear condition just means you can't approach.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought cause fear was. It's just like, anyway.
And he has a fright. He's also disadvantaged on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of his fear is within his line of sight. That's the condition versus the spell.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard because it'd be one thing if I could get him to run, but otherwise, like him standing in the way is inconvenient. So killing him faster is probably better.
You know, whichever you want to do, it's fine.
I pew pew for 8 necrotic damage, and I'll heal Ragna for 2 health.
Ragnar, who's clogging up the thing being paralyzed.
Big statue. It is Griswold's turn.
Griswold will.
You can't really get through and fight anyway.
Yes.
He throw a dagger, right?
He does have a dagger. It is only showing up as offhand, so I'm just gonna do a quick adjustment and then I'll change it back. He's gonna try to toss a dagger at, I guess, the one in front of us.
It plinks off the wall and misses.
Okay. That is all he can do. And it's gone now.
Arvid.
I don't assume there's any way I can see a frozen Ragnar or reach a frozen Ragnar.
Reach, probably not. See, potentially. I mean, you can see that she stopped flying and sort of isn't moving. But again, this is all fast happening, even though it doesn't seem like it. These are seconds that are passing, so.
Okay, for now I'll just fire off an Aqueous Bolt at this guy to try and make some room for people to move. So I assume a 20 would hit,
It would.
and he would require a strength save, please.
10.
Then he falls prone. And for now, I'll hold off on dealing out the magical healing. And I'll stay where I am.
Signe.
Well, I'm not very happy that I'm stopgapped here, and I'm even less happy he's attacking my sister. So I'm gonna javelin that guy.
I mean, he's technically not attacking her, he's just missing her.
And he's on the floor now as well.
He's attacking, he's just not damaging.
Yes.
Oh, he's a jerk.
So wait a minute. So I never remember because it's the opposite. So prone at range, is that disadvantage or advantage?
Yes.
I can never...
Disadvantage
Yes.
at range, advantage within 5 feet.
Okay. So you would
Because
have
if they're
disadvantage-
lying on the ground, they're a smaller target to shoot, but they can't exactly avoid when you just stab down at them.
So even though you're only 10 feet away from him, you have disadvantage throwing a javelin at him.
Might be worth just trying to spend 25 feet to get to the other side of him.
Even if he's prone, I don't think she can move through him.
I don't think I can. God. God has forsaken me. There are no rules.
Or throw your sister out the way? I don't know.
Let's say, can anyone else hear me?
I can hear
Yeah.
you.
Okay, got worried there. Yeah, I guess,
You know what? She's paralyzed. I think you might be able to like auto succeed on grappling her and dragging her away. I need to double check that.
So, and I also just looked at this. So, you can move through a hostile creature's space only if the creature is at least 2 sizes larger or smaller than you. So, you wouldn't be, even though he's laying down, you wouldn't be, even though it makes no sense logically, you can't move through him because he's not 2 sizes larger or smaller than you.
I guess if you tried to step over and through him, there's a good chance he just stabs up into your groin and you die.
yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
But still, the other thing they've shown like the memes of it, like 5 feet is a lot of space. That you know, like you could easily move around someone within 5 feet. But yeah, anyway, those are the rules. We'll stick to them.
Yeah, I'll use my action to pull Ragna out of the way.
Okay.
Just put her behind me.
Ragna statue.
I bonus action run into a wall. Gotta keep that rage going.
You have 2 attacks. One of them was a grapple. You still have a second one.
Oh, that's fair.
$15 hits.
21 hits too, because he was prone.
Right.
Yeah, thank you for the reminder. I don't think about manhandling comrades as an attack.
All right, Callum.
Well, Callum can't reach anything, but he does have a target that he's a-okay with just potentially bludgeoning to death from a distance now. So he's going to keep whirling the sling and take 2 more shots at the Revenant. $15 hits,
It does.
a whole 6 bludgeoning. And it has to be everything. So yeah, that's the turn.
Alrighty. Sky will stand up. And he'll just attack Signe because she's there.
That is true.
A natural 1 and a 23.
Well,
So you would
23 does it.
take half, so you would take 4 points of slashing damage. And then this guy is gonna throw daggers at Signe. A 16 and a 10.
16 meets
hits.
AC.
So you take 3 points of piercing damage. And it is Red Fairy Dragon. down here.
Hmm.
Alright, this guy needs to make a strength save. Fail again. There. Alrighty.
You know what would be super fun? Lightning bolt.
Signe, make a wisdom saving throw, if you please.
I assume we would get the +4 from Ragna, even though she's paralyzed.
I think your aura doesn't work if you're incapacitated,
Okay.
and part of being paralyzed is being incapacitated.
You must be conscious to grant this bonus.
Oh, so
But I don't think it would
Ooh.
help anyway.
Yeah, I do not please.
You do not. So, you are now paralyzed.
Yay! The sisters are statues now.
This one does not bring joy.
There is a difference, however. Signe, you will be able to roll another wisdom saving throw on your turn because that was a spell that was cast upon you by this dude. Ragna's not so lucky because you have no recourse until this guy attacks you or he dies. So it is Johann's turn.
Wait, so what? She's forced to attack that dude?
she's paralyzed.
Oh,
He cast hold person on her. I'll just tell you what happened.
Oh. I'm gonna do it. Signe, I'm sorry. I think you'll survive this.
I say
Do
if
it.
you
Radiant Bolt for 28 damage. DC 15 Dex saves.
So it is basically just lightning bolt, just called radiant bolt.
Yeah. Well, yeah, pretty much. There's like a little caveat that people can get
Damage is lower.
disadvantages, but- Is the damage lower?
yeah, lightning bolt's 8d6.
So it's a dex save. Okay.
But it's also going to do a ton of damage that I can then use to heal Signe.
And Signe does get the bonus from Ragna still.
Oh, I just realized I can help. I can do a big help. Should have read my abilities last turn.
You can hit me harder?
Okay. So, first guy fails. Takes 28. Second guy succeeds. Takes 14. Third guy fails and looks really hurt.
Okay, so what is it? 9, 9, 4, 9. So how badly hurt is Signe?
She's
So
about to
Signe-
be. She's about to
actually,
be a
'cause
lot worse
she-
because she's paralyzed.
Yeah, so well she takes the full 28, I believe, because I think you automatically fail Dex saves, right?
Oh
I
yeah.
believe so.
So I'm just gonna dump those 22 points back into her. So you're
She
gonna
goes
take
unconscious
6
and then goes right back up.
Oh wait,
Doesn't
does
even
she
have a
really?
chance to fall, just starts
Yes.
tipping backwards and then catches herself on the
Yeah,
way
so
back
28
up.
would make her unconscious. So yeah, she does go unconscious, then go back.
Oh wait, but then technically it's also 28 damage I did to her, right? So it's also another 9.
True.
So I guess she goes unconscious and then gets healed for 31 points.
Kind of like a
So-
half orc.
So you gained 3 HP at the cost of losing rage.
I'll take it.
Well, she's paralyzed, so she would have lost rage in a minute anyway.
Not as long as she kept taking damage.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, and actually, let me.
Would she be unparalyzed now after?
Well, that's what I
going-
was going to say because he has it's a concentration spell, so he could. What do I have to roll? What was the?
And that's the other thing is I guess it's not technical. What was Signe at before she got hit?
DC 14.
Because I guess technically if she was at like 10 health and took the 28 and went down and then got healed 31, she technically would have healed 21 points, right? I imagine you still go prone though for being unconscious. Or
Yeah, I'll
aren't you
fall on
prone
my
for
butt.
being?
Yeah, you go prone when you're unconscious. I don't know how much HP she had, so I can't tell you how much. But
I think you were at 21.
Yeah. So what HP am I at officially?
31, I think. Because I don't think you go negative HP, right?
correct.
So I guess
Okay.
you go to 0 from the 28 damage, but
Yeah.
then you heal. Yeah.
Okay.
And you're no longer paralyzed because he lost concentration after being hit with that radiant bolt. So
Cool.
Okay. Awesome. And then I guess Ragna's also free then, right?
No, hers was from something else.
Yeah,
Oh damn, never mind.
mine was from Big Boy down here.
Big
Oh.
Boy's wasn't in line with your spell. So
Thank
Don't
you
worry,
for beating me.
we're almost into the room. You'll be free soon.
it is Griswold's turn. I don't think he can do anything. He lost
No.
his dagger.
He can't do anything, and I don't think he would throw the special dagger, so he's just gonna take.
I mean, Callum?
There.
Yeah, you're right. He wouldn't throw the special dagger. I don't think he'd ask.
Griswold could run back to the table and stab that other guy.
He doesn't want to be too suspicious. He's just
You
gonna
know,
come here for now.
Retreating from the door would probably be helpful, though, so that the melee people could get in. Not
Yep.
that he's not a melee person, but he also has, what, 3 HP?
17 HP, not terrible. But yeah, he would go right there, and that's
Yeah, just lean back, let Callum go ahead and then just walk back.
all.
All right, Arvid.
I mean, like I said, he's still got the option of just looking for a short bow somewhere.
Oh, that's true.
Take 2 steps forward.
The dagger up after the battle.
How did he never account for ranged weapons?
I think that's actually what he did last time, is he went and found one of the bad guy's short bows and he started shooting people, didn't he?
So what you're saying is this happened before and he has yet to rectify it.
In this same combat.
he
Oh,
got
okay.
he got a spell book, so that's another thing that happened in the last one. So in the last session, so eventually when he learns some spells, he can be ranged.
Yeah, that's true.
The spells are already in here, and I got confused for a moment.
Yeah, because I told him what was in the spell book, so he probably just added them.
Seeing that Ragnar is paralyzed by fear, I will attempt to restore her to a lesser degree.
If you have something more useful you can do, I can fix the paralyzed.
No, all I'm doing is throwing cantrips.
Okay.
Yep, you're no longer paralyzed.
Yay! She lets out a gasp of relief.
Anything else?
No, I'm going to leave things as they are.
All right. Signate, you got a very injured-looking man in front of you.
I'm gonna stand up. Bonus action rage.
slice him to pieces.
That's some big damage.
Nice. Okay.
Will miss.
That's okay. I cleared the path. Kind of.
Yeah, dead bodies, clear enough. Callum.
All right. Well, the path is clear. So
The way is shut.
I was thinking the exact same thing. 10, 15.
They are coming.
I think I have to go here first. Because I have to take a swipe at this bandit on my way by so he doesn't attack me. So, again, just strike towards the face, see whether I hit or not. Mostly just a distraction.
It hits.
5 bludgeoning, right square on the nose. Get to here. Throw the second swipe out at this guy's knee. Five non-magical bludgeoning. I don't know if that matters for him. I don't remember. I've been hitting him with rocks, so I guess I would have noticed before now if it did matter. And then just an unarmed strike too. Another blow for 6. 10, 15, 20, 30, 35. Yeah, let's go. Let's get to there. And that's my turn.
I will say, we'll just for fun, so that you maybe can relay the message. Your attacks do seem to be damaging him, but you notice when you got close to attack him that the attack that you made the first time, the damage to his face appears to be gone.
Oh. Lovely. Seems to be healing.
All right. So the guy that you smacked in the mouth and
Yep.
then ran past, he's going to step up, swing at you. It's a 21 and a 15.
The 21 hits.
Take 6 points of slashing damage. And the red fairy dragon will step up to Signe. And I'll just flip his token back around here so that he's looking in the right direction. This guy is just going to walk up to you, Signe, and just wail back and punch you twice. What's your AC? 16. So it's a 16 and a 26. Okay, let me do math on that one.
That makes
Yeah.
me uneasy. But yeah, I get it.
Sam, remember that time that you guys had a
Yep,
revenant
I do.
friend in a dungeon?
Yep, I do. He fucking wrecked house.
So, halved, you take 16 points of bludgeoning damage. As he just
I
wails
am
back
not
and just
surprised.
haymakers you in the face. Alright, and this guy back here, still trying to, just all tangled up, just like, like a cat with, like, yarn. He's just rolling on the ground, just trying to get out of this. And fails again with a 2. This guy is just, you can just hear him cussing and screaming like, God damn it!
I've tied up a spellcaster.
Yeah, for the entire time. But the other guy who is free is going to step up gingerly towards Signe. and he will just put his hand on your shoulder, and you feel this sort of shock, and then almost like this stinging sensation sort of like goes through your veins. And for some reason it didn't roll properly. Let me... Oh, because I did it wrong, that's why. So, wow. Do you take half of all damage? I don't know what your barbarian...
She's a zealot, so just bludgeoning, piercing, slashing.
Okay.
Only
Thank
the
you.
bear gets more resistances.
So you are very unconscious. You take 31 points of necrotic damage. And it is Ragna's turn, who is no longer paralyzed.
Yay. Now the question is, how tall is the ceiling?
Yeah, because if you can just fly over Callum, that's a good flag.
So the room that you're in, the ceiling is probably 20, 30 feet. The exit is probably only about 8 to 10 feet.
Oh, so here is about 8 to 10. Okay.
Yeah. So that where Callum is standing, there's probably, I mean, he's 5 foot something, so there's probably not enough room for you to fly over his head. You could tell him to duck. I don't know.
He would. Or you could squeeze, I guess.
Well, if you want to do it, we'll say this. Callum can make a dexterity saving throw at disadvantage because he doesn't know you're coming. And then if he fails, then you would hit him, and we'll say that will cost you 20 feet of movement.
Sure.
Okay. Let's
We'll
do
just-
that.
Yeah, we'll just make it fun.
Yeah.
Dex at disadvantage? Dex
Yes.
is my
And
best
I
save.
assume she'll
know.
give you an aura as she goes by.
True. That's how much?
+4.
So at disadvantage, that's a 17.
Okay.
Seems good enough.
So she'll fly 10.
It's less that the aura gives him a bonus and more that he suddenly notices he has an aura and thinks, oh no.
Oh shit! Then drops
So-
to the floor.
She's technically flying over this guy right now. I'll just put her there. So I think 10 feet up, and then 15, 20, 25. Yeah,
Yes.
she'll be
Break
right
out
over
your
this.
Pythagorean theorem now because we have to go up and...
I made it go straight up. No need for triangles.
We move diagonally in 2 dimensions all the time. Moving diagonally in 3 dimensions, no different. Just need to accept the non-Euclidean nature of D&D geometry.
I'm pretty sure none of you have ever played 4D chess, so don't worry.
Yeah,
I have. It's been a long time.
It's a pain in the ass if you don't know how
Yeah.
to do it.
If she does triangle, she can land right there. Sweet. I think so.
I
She'll
don't
be
know.
able
We'll say
to.
you can. I don't feel like doing math. I don't like
Yeah.
doing math anyway.
You were right behind Johan, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's 25 feet of movement.
Okay, she's gonna get super mad at this guy and slash twice with her sword, her glowing radiant sword.
Huzzah. Swish
Miss
swash.
once, probably
Yes, the second one
Hit.
definitely hits.
hit the second.
And you strike him down.
She points her sword towards evil guy.
All right, Johan. It's still a jumbled mess in the in the entrance here.
Yeah, all that, and it's still a mess. I'ma just well, I did a lot already. I'ma just chilling touch this dude in front of Callum and be all like,
I
huzzah.
hate the name of that spell. I really wish they would change it.
Yeah, does a 15 hit?
It does.
13.
13 is exactly the number of hit points that he had remaining.
Awesome. Suck it. And then I will heal Signe for 4 health.
Thank you.
Griswold, all alone in the back.
Yep, he's gonna 5, 10, use his action to stab, and then 15, 20, 25, 30. And that is how far he will get. There's a lot of mess still in front of us.
Arbid.
Harvey's just going to take a step up, look at Grizz. I'm always watching.
He would just give a small smile, I think.
Just walk away. That's what he does.
And I'm going to throw in a quite bolt at him.
The guy just rolling around in the brambles.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're hitting him with water, poor guy.
Yeah, and he also has to make another strength save, or he falls down in the bramble.
This poor
And
man.
more tangled.
A 16.
Oh, it doesn't fall down.
Surprising. He hasn't been able to get a 16 on a strength check all day.
No. I'm sure it's wasted now. He has a strength of 11, so he has a +0 to his strength, so he has been... The other guy got lucky. Well, lucky. He's dead now.
And it may not do too much, but I will spend my last 2 counts of the balm on Signe.
Yay.
Who heals 6 and gets 2 temporary hit points.
And it is her turn. There's a dude just screaming in the brambles, and there's the guy who just punched you in the face very, very hard.
Yeah, I'm not too happy. I'm gonna stand up, move forward a little bit so people can get past me and just try to lay into this guy.
Both of those hit.
And that's it for me.
Right, Callum.
Callum, still not having noticed the string of murders behind him, kind of says, Dragon and Signe have this, and if I go beat the other man unconscious, they won't stab him to death. So, take one swing at our Revenant friend. Just to get by. Solid. What? Can I walk across that, or is that something?
I will say it takes an extra bit of movement just to jump up on there, because it is like it's like a railing that's going down, so like you're at the top part of that.
Actually, you know what? He'll just go this way. That takes him 45 to get to there. Let's start hitting this man. Six bludgeoning from the staff, and I'm assuming the unarmed strike's a miss.
Yes.
And then he still has 10 feet of movement. That's his turn.
All right, Signe, you're right there. You're getting punched twice. 21, 24. You're probably unconscious again.
I'll actually Silvery Barbs the 21. So you have disadvantage on that one.
So that's now an 11, so that misses.
Janae, did you re-rage on your turn?
Nope.
Okay.
And
Figured I'm gonna eat crap, so.
Ragnar,
Yes.
you get advantage on your next attack, spell, or like ability check, saving throw, whatever it may be.
Cool.
And Signa, you're down. It's 14 points of bludgeoning damage. So just like one of those, remember like those little clown things, those little blow up things that you just those little punching things that they knock them down and you just pop right back up.
Yep.
All right. Can this guy actually get out of the brambles? A 3. Oh God! The other guy's dead, so it is Ragnar's turn.
Callum,
Ragnar's
in the back of his mind, is just like, dude, you're a spellcaster. Just throw spells from there.
Ragnar is going to very angrily, at advantage, attack this guy and also throw a second level. Where are you? Divine Smite at him.
Or if he's undead, you might as well cast it as level 3 because you get an extra d8.
No, she can only do level 2 right now.
Also, it's more fun if he's not very smart. The spellcaster, so it's just more
Oh
fun.
yeah,
to,
it's wicked. It's fun. I'm rolling with it.
Yeah.
And then she will attack once more. She's very angry.
So, what level did you smite at?
Second level.
You get an extra D8 because he's undead, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I was saying, like, cast it
Oh.
at 3 for the extra die.
Oh. Okay, I didn't even realize. Yay.
It's a whole crap ton of damage on this guy.
See, that's why I was trying to give you the advantage, because imagine if he crit on a smite.
That would have been nice.
All right. Johan.
Finally, I will trudge through and over the bodies of my enemies. I will raise my war pick and bring it down upon my foe. For 9 piercing damage. Well, 9 necrotic damage. And I will, still feeling bad about smiting Signe, I'll heal her for 3.
Would not do the full amount of damage on necrotic damage.
Ah, damn. What is it, half damage?
Yes.
Okay, then I heal Signe for 1.
But she's back up.
Thank you.
Weevils wobble, but they don't fall down.
Indeed, it is Griswold's turn.
Griswold is going to run all the way over here, including his bonus action dash, and stab with a special attack. Where is special attack?
My special eyes.
There it is.
That is a special dagger.
And then would he get sneak attack because he's all tied up?
It doesn't matter because he's dead.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
This guy doesn't have any resistance to necrotic damage, and therefore he just takes it all and dies. Arbid.
I think I'll leave the cave now. $30. Ooh, I can see. So, even though we're outside, do we have a roof above us, or is this completely exposed?
We are exposed.
Okay. Then... Arvid will blow some smoke into his hands, start curling it around, moving it, and force it up into the air as the clouds change, as he calls upon the lightning. 1 second, I've got it in the front. So I think it needs to make a dexterity saving throw, or it takes half if it saves.
And then I guess you could put it there so that it only hits him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He fails.
Well, it takes a nice 13 points of lightning damage.
Alrighty.
And I think I'll save some of my healing for now.
Signe, back up again. Don't
Stand
even
back
miss
up.
turn. A lot of damage.
I was saying it's just the 15, right? Because you're not raging. Not
Not
that 15's anything to
Oh,
sneeze
yeah,
at.
sorry. No, I forgot to turn off the rage. Thank you. But yes.
It's a lot of damage. He's looking quite rough. If, an undead body can look rough. Because it already looks bad, obviously. Alright, Callum.
Hey, well, little miffed, but there's undead. I'm okay with beating the snot out of that. Get to here, takes 15 feet.
It's like, I'm not
Two.
undead, I'm a red fairy dragon, stop!
2 quarterstaff strikes. $11 bludgeoning. We're looking pretty good, so Callum's going to spend a key point on Flurry of Blows to make 2 unarmed strikes.
Yay.
And that first one, even though he's pretty sure it's not going to do as much as he'd like, he will spend his Hand of Harm on that to get the crit bonus.
Well, he only had 3 hit points left, so how would you like to dismantle this undead?
That's a very good question. Because Callum's not big on dismantling people. That would be probably the 2 strikes with the quarterstaff, 1 whiff, 1 strike, and as he's bent back, just go in with like an open palm strike for the torso, and just half by accident, half on purpose, like caves through the rotted gut and strikes like bone inside. And just crumples him right there. Like literally breaks his spine from the front. And he falls in half.
And that's it.
Ugh.
Ragnar
are...
would. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Ragnar just immediately turns to Signe and gives her a hug and gives 20 lay on hands on her.
Matt,
Yes,
is this the only ship we can see?
it is.
Then, as it's within 120 feet of me and I've still got a minute's worth of lightning strikes, I'm going to aim for the mast.
Yeah, Callum would be zipping over that way too to make sure there's no one else over there.
Oh.
You don't want to occupy the ship?
Thanks, sis. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Are you doing okay?
Yeah, you know what? I have you by my side. That's more than enough, you know?
Ragnar just smiles.
Yeah. Come on, kiddo. We have more havoc to wreak.
If the ship is not too incredibly on fire yet, Callum would like to go below deck just to see if there's anyone there.
Yep, do a investigation check.
And he's so good at those.
And I would say Ragnar and Griswold will check out this shiny sigil-y thingy.
It does not. There just appears to be no one. You would yell for people, and there is no one aboard.
Okay, then Callum's getting out, getting off.
And ignore the sort of Cthulhu symbol that's underneath the sigil. I tried to like put it over there to cover it up, using this obviously for this map for different purposes.
And we're not fighting elder gods.
Or not.
Not yet.
So it appears to be some kind of summoning circle. It's not one that you would. It's not like the necromancer where it's like an open portal. It just appears to be like a sigil that is being used to summon. You would make the assumption that it might have summoned that revenant, and you see that there are, which is again the scale of the map. Like if you look at this guy's like 10 feet tall, this floating body. But they're not that big. These are just regular humans. But these guys appear to be recently deceased floating bodies.
Well-
From the sigil. Oh yeah, you said there was a revenant.
Likely.
Yes.
You can make an Arcana check if you would like. I think no one is still proficient in that.
Real, Griswold and Ragnar. So
already.
that's from Griswold.
So yeah, I mean, you would wager that the bodies were probably used as kind of fuel, essentially, to power this necromantic summoning.
There is an audible sigh from inside the cave. Callum has found his first dead person.
Well, do we have a description of the captain's husband?
I didn't give one, but I'll say that I did. And you would, well, he's very recognizable. He's got red hair and like a red beard, and you do find one of the bodies floating in the water that meets that description.
I will pull it up and bring it with us.
So yeah, you can do some investigating, some searching around if you would like, amongst the cave.
Yeah, well, after I've damaged the masts enough, or like when the spell runs out, I'll start investigating stuff.
Yeah, I mean, more than anything, you would probably damage the mast, but it probably wouldn't be enough to like burn the ship down.
Oh
But you
no,
would-
that wasn't my intention. Like, in case someone was on the fleet, if you got a damaged mast, you can't really go as far.
Exactly. So like basically, just it's damaged enough that it probably wouldn't work very well because the mainsails would not be able to be used. But the ship itself is not. It's not like it's burned to the ground.
But yeah, I'll do an investigation check with advantage because senses.
And Aster's in here just like chewing on the body of the dragonborn that you killed.
What a good girl.
So there's different sections, I suppose, that we can sort of do separate investigate. I mean, there's just a lot of different ways to a lot of different places. So I would say that we would start here in the mouth of the cave. We'll just sort of go through here. So as far as where you first entered, you do see that there are what are likely stolen goods. There is, barrels of alcohol. There's sugar and salt and things like that. Nothing of particular interest that you guys would like want to take with you. They're more just like stores of things that would be useful for sailors, that type of thing. In addition, I would say that these right here, where these barrel or boxes and stuff are stacked, there's actually, you can see very clearly that there's another cave like opening, and that these boxes are all packed in tightly to like close that opening off.
Are we able to remove some of the boxes?
You can do that if you'd like, but I would say also do a perception check. So you can hear that as you're like sort of adjusting the boxes and trying to figure out, because they're wedged in pretty tight. Like it's gonna take a bit of strength to get these things out of the way. You can hear the sound of like water, sort of like I don't know how to describe it. You can hear like the sound of water dripping, but also sounds like the water's being kind of like uh, moved about. Like if you were like running your hand through water, that sound. And you hear kind of like almost a slight humming sound, like of a person humming.
Well, seems to be some humming behind these boxes and some running water. Should we have a look?
I will place down the body of the captain, or the captain's husband, and then join.
I would like to swim out and gather the bodies that are in the water and then pull them in.
You would get the impression that since you found the husband and the state of the bodies, that these were likely the people that were captured, and also that they were probably kept in those empty cages until they were drowned.
I, one of the ones that Callum had left alive, can he tell what the cause of death was on it?
Probably not, considering that like everyone that you knocked unconscious had already been attacked by everybody. I mean, like I don't think there was anybody that you single-handedly took out. So they would all already have like stab wounds and cuts and slashes. So it would be very, very difficult, because I would imagine that uh, Griswold was not like walking up and slitting their throats and making it like a very obvious sort of, this is how they
Fair.
died. More of a just, I'm going to stab them in the chest and you're not going to be able to tell that that's why they died.
Yeah, like they're just gonna bleed out.
And that's the thing. I mean, like I would say that you're like 60% sure that they were killed after the fact, that somebody
Oh
killed
yeah,
them.
he's very sure they were killed after the fact. His whole shtick is that, hey, I'm good at keeping people alive.
But there would be at least some amount of doubt that it certainly would cross your mind that it's possible that they would have, some of them could have bled out after the fact. Maybe not the one that you would kill, that you knocked out on the table, since it was the most recent. So, are you guys moving these boxes?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you move the boxes. And I believe I have to also remove the dynamic lighting. So I just moved the boxes and you still couldn't see anything.
I can see the void.
So you do see what appears to be a young woman who appears to be the one that was humming and playing in the water.
Oh, hello.
And as you move those boxes and stuff, she turns around in a both frightened, but also like rage-filled sort of look at you. She seems kind of like sad and angry and afraid all at the same time. It's very unnerving.
Are you alright?
She doesn't say anything. She stopped humming and she stopped playing in the water, and she kind of slowly stood up and is just kind of staring at you. Her arms are kind of dangling to the side. She doesn't
She,
look all right.
yeah, I was gonna say, does she appear like a normal person, or is she obviously some different type of creature?
She doesn't appear to be. She looks like she's sick, I will say. Her skin is kind of pallid. Her hair is really. She's got very, very long hair, and it looks like she's like been wading in this water because she's just like drenched. Like there's water just dripping off of her.
It's okay if we approach.
Doesn't say anything.
I'll just take a couple of steps.
Does Griswold's divine sense go off?
I think that's Ragnar's.
Oh.
Yes, does. She is undead.
Why are you here by yourself?
Terry, you're muted if you were saying anything as you were casting that, just as a.
Whoops! I've been muted this entire time trying to tell you things that Griswold is doing.
Yeah. Didn't
There
hear
you
any
go.
of it.
Yeah,
Over
she
to
just
the
would have said, be careful, she's undead.
And make a persuasion check, Arvid.
Oh yeah, that's totally my absolute best ability. A 12.
Right.
Oh, is it great for you or great for us?
I'm just trying to read, so give me a second here.
Doesn't sound like it's great for us.
It's probably not.
I was elected to lead, not to read.
When you mentioned the humming, I was wondering if this was like one of them. What is it, like water nymphs or something?
What, like a siren?
Siren. Yeah.
Go to sleep, little baby.
She is not a siren, but as you say that to her, Arvid, that long hair that she has actually almost not almost, it does, it becomes animated, and it actually like shoots out like arms, and it grasps both you and Ragna and pulls you directly towards her. And then she attacks
Oh
both of you.
goodness.
Holy crap.
I am. Oh god.
Arvid, uh, as it pulls you in, she claws at your face, um, You take 39 points of slashing damage.
Well, okay.
And then it attempts to... Oh, man.
I'm sorry, did he say 38?
39.
Cannot.
And Ragna takes 27 points of slashing damage.
Ragna is down.
And-
Griswold would yell for Signe and Callum.
Okay. I take it we're rolling initiative then.
We are indeed. So let's...
If it had taken you guys another 2 minutes, Callum would have been back on the beach still praying over people.
Unsurprisingly, Callum is first.
Yeah. Callum hears the shout. Oh, ow. That looks like it hurts. Callum will... What can he do from here? I have 1 key point left. Callum is just going to draw his sling again because he knows he can't be effective from here. So, 2 shots at whatever this thing is.
Those both hit.
Nine and an 8. And then that is Callum's turn.
Arvid, you are grappled.
I need to look at what grapple does.
DC,
Just
you
your
can do
move
the-
speed is 0.
Yeah.
Oh, is that it? That's fine.
Well, yeah.
And she can drag you around and stuff.
Yeah, so you can do it. It's a strength check if you would like to attempt to break out.
No, I'm good.
Just imagine Arvin's like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this?
Well, I did try to be nice. So instead, you'll watch as Arvid's hands turn into feral claws as he attempts to swipe at the undead being. I mean, I assume a 24 would hit.
It does. Let me hold on a second. Just for clarification here. So, Callum, your sling is obviously not magical, right?
My what?
Your sling, you're just throwing rocks
Is
at
just a normal piece of fabric throwing normal rocks.
her. Gotcha. And then, Arvid, are your claws magical?
Yeah, because it's a spell.
Yeah, Arvid's does acid damage.
It's just like flavouring it, because I could technically say I grow fangs and I bite her.
Gotcha. So you do. You bite her, and she tastes terrible. Or if you strike her with her claws.
Yeah, I'll go with the claws option.
She still tastes terrible.
Yeah.
You just know it.
Very salty and briny, you know.
At level 2, I'm gonna touch. Oh no, touch. I'm gonna cast Healing Word at level 2. I'm going to cast it on Ragnar.
Hey.
You only gain 6.
He's awake.
I rolled 2 1s on the dice.
Johan. I never get death saving throws. You guys heal before the person's turn.
Mm-hmm. It helps that literally everyone except I think Signe and maybe also.
Wait, did Ragna go down?
Ragna had gone down, but now she is up again.
Oh, okay. I was gonna do this on Arvid, but I'll do this on you. Protection from good and evil. And I will choose undead. So, any undead attacks against you have disadvantage, and you can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them.
Cool.
And that's my turn.
Ragna.
Okay. Ragna is not going to try to escape. Instead, she will slash at the undead. And if she hits, will throw a... I don't think she's going to hit.
She's not, no.
She is disheveled from being unconscious.
All right. So, let's see.
God, why are so many of my spells concentration? Stupid clerics.
Stupid clerics with their full casting and ability to wear heavy armor.
Yeah.
So about like this. Can you guys see this?
Yep.
Yes, that gray circle around me.
Yeah.
That seems suspicious.
Barely.
I know. I don't know why it's gray. It shows that it's green when I. There we go. How about now?
Yeah,
Yes.
there you go.
She casts silence.
Ooh.
And also then she's going, because she still has you grappled, Arvid, she's going to kiss you.
Are you
Well,
gonna
you make-
are you gonna succubus me again?
Yeah,
Well,
need to
now
make-
you know she tastes terrible.
Yeah, you need to make a charisma saving throw.
Damn, I almost, I almost
Plus
did this
4.
to Arvid.
So 25.
So you take type. This is described in a very strange way, but you would take 10 points of strength damage. I don't even know what that means.
Oh,
So-
this is like an older edition thing, isn't it? Oh no.
So yeah, I just lose 10 strength.
Well, there you go. You just took 10 points of strength damage. So you're
What's your
definitely not
strength
gonna
now,
grapple.
Arvid?
My strength is now 1.
Good
Good thing. You had 11, because otherwise you'd be dead.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be able to fix that.
All right, Signe, it is your turn.
Alright, so that's 40 to get to there.
Technically, that might be. It's like older rules, but this is actually not a. This is not a D&D. This is. I take it back. This is not a Wizards of the Coast creature.
Where is it?
I mean,
It's,
Callum's
over
staring right
here.
at it. He shot his sling at it.
Yeah, Griswold would point like up.
And I have to stop there. That's my whole turn.
Griswold.
Griswold's gonna, including his bonus action dash, and slash this dagger. Where is his sheet? Where did his sheet go? And would he get sneak attack even though is Ragnar
yes.
still restrained?
Ally within 5 feet and I can still attack, so yeah, you would.
Okay. Although I'm not sure 15 hits.
15 does hit.
Yay.
And Shadow Song is a magic weapon, so
And that would be his turn.
Callum.
40 feet to get to there. Did the sling bullets seem to work relatively well?
Not really.
Cool.
Blinked off her head, and she just didn't seem to. I mean, you hit her, but
Yep.
she didn't seem to mind.
So Callum's going for fisticuffs then. Just deep breath, drop the big stick, go for just open palmed strikes into like floating ribs, armpit, that general area that he can reach from here. And he'll do it once again with his bonus action.
They all hit.
There we go. Love to see it.
She kind of staggers back and gives you a look.
And as she staggers back, Callum... I'm assuming all of this is water and therefore difficult terrain.
Yes.
You know what? He's still going to chance it. He's going to go out along this little stone bridge here. And that's his turn.
All right, Arvid.
Well, I'm definitely silenced right now, but luckily.
Oh, yeah. Did she have to make concentration on that silence because she's been hit? Or was it just an ability that she doesn't need to concentrate on?
This is an innate ability. It is not a
Lovely. Noted.
Well, luckily,
Hmm?
primal savagery is just somatic, so I don't need to say a goddamn thing.
Yes, you do not. Anything that you don't have to say, you're good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, we're in trouble if this can move, but I think we're all right otherwise.
Yeah, so Callum, Ragnar, and Griswold will probably see something you've never seen before, which is Arvid's face becoming a bit more animalistic as he loosens his jaws, fangs appear, and he attempts to return the favour and tear off her jaw with his mouth.
Tastes terrible.
Ow.
Goddamn. Keep being one off a crit. And all of my healing is verbal, so I'm just out of luck.
That's what it sounds like. That's when Johan casts a spell. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. No, I was trying to get the spell description, but I guess because it's not on my sheet.
Oh, I'll do it for you.
That's a snazzy cantrip.
That's what I was thinking.
The biggest issue is just it's the same damage as Firebolt, and it's only within 5 feet. But druids don't have great cantrips to pick from either, so.
Shillelagh.
Magic Stone, which is just a flat D6.
I actually saw someone do a fun trick with Magic Stone a while back, and I was like, okay, I can get behind Magic Stone now.
Hey, I like it as a cantrip.
They had create tiny servants as a spell, and they made 3 tiny servants, and every turn they just made magic stones and then handed the magic stones to their servants and said, throw these.
That's funny.
And so the person effectively was getting, like, they weren't big damage attacks, but it was like 4 attacks a turn.
So your war pick is not magical, right? It's not a +1 war pick.
Well, I turned the damage into necrotic.
Oh.
So.
Well, you do literally no damage to her with that.
Huh. Okay, I see my ineffectiveness, and I contemplate my life choices.
I made a huge mistake.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Well, so I guess that's a. So sorry, I'm just for it. If I attack with my pick and turn the damage to necrotic, is it considered magical damage at that point?
Their game makes no distinction between magical and non-magical for anything other than bludgeoning, piercing, slashing.
Okay.
The only time it matters magical damage is some creatures have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing that's non-magical.
But
Okay.
upon attacking her with necrotic damage, it basically just like the war pick essentially like ricochets off of her skin.
Yeah, no, I imagine she had an immunity. I was just curious for future
Oh.
instances.
Okay, and it's okay. Yeah, it's acid damage that you're doing. Never mind. But yeah.
So that's my turn.
All right, Ragnar.
Ragna's gonna angrily attempt to slash again. I guess.
Nice.
And throwing Divine Smite in both of those.
So yeah, if you just cast it at a 1 higher level for the undead aspect.
Yep. It divines. And again. And then once more for the crit.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And then her actual attacks. There.
That's just a shit ton of numbers.
That's a lot of numbers. That is
That's-
a lot.
Look at all that math.
13, 19, 25, 31, 43, 52, 53, 63, 68 points of damage.
Well, but is any of it not magical?
No, she has a +1 longsword, so it's all magical.
Yep.
Paladins, they can just burst damage anything.
Especially undead.
Especially undead.
And crits.
All right, so she is looking absolutely furious, and she lets out this ear-piercing scream.
We
and
can't hear
she's
it.
actually- You're right. Johan and Signe and Callum hear it, but
Is she in the silence?
Technically.
I mean, kind of, sort of. She is, I guess.
That
would
is
see her-
not.
You would see her opening her mouth at the very least. You can tell that
Yep.
she's very, very angry. And she is going to go crazy on the three of you, actually. So, for Ragna first, you're probably down. So,
What's that disadvantage due to protection?
yeah. At disadvantage is a 19. It's a 23 and a 19.
Yep.
That's 9 points of slashing damage, so you are unconscious.
Yep.
For Arvid, a 29 and a 27.
Oh no, clearly those miss.
Yes. So, I'm doing more math again. That is 30 points of slashing damage.
I'm down. I'm guessing I got crit.
Yeah. Holy crap. And she uses a legendary action to attack Griswold, doing 27 points of slashing damage.
He will do the thing. There's a thing he can do.
Uncanny dodge.
Yes. So he takes half of that?
Yep.
Okay.
It's a 27, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you take 13.
So, yes. Okay. Griswold is still up. I have yet to kill him.
We can fix that.
And it is
No.
his turn. So the two people that can cast spells against her with silence are unconscious anyway, so.
Yeah, okay. I'll bonus action, use my last rage.
Standing in the silence, screaming into the void.
Sounds about right.
Is that one hit?
12 misses. Seven hits.
Cool.
Anything else?
No, I didn't think so. Just kind of making sure all my options were covered.
All right. It is Griswold's turn.
Okay. Griswold, looking pretty hurt at this point, is gonna take one stab at her, and then bonus action disengage and
Don't forget sneak.
yes.
All right.
Actually, he'll go.
And Callum, it is your turn, and I'll say that you've seen all of these. You've seen the stabs and the attacks, and Signe and Griswold,
Mhm.
and she seems okay, which is terrifying.
Yeah. Callum. Okay, who does she have held still?
Arvid and Ragnar.
And they're both unconscious.
Correct.
Signe and Johan are both still standing, though, right?
Yes.
By the way, it was the attack against Ragnar with disadvantage.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, seeing the condition of this creature, Callum is going to... He'll zip back in. He's going to throw one strike at her, just unarmed. Well, an 11's a miss, I'm sure. That said, get to here. He's going to use a second attack to try to grapple Arvid, which I'm not great at. I doubt it matters, because Arvid's unconscious. But the big thing is that he wanted to try to drag Arvid away, and imagine that is not enough to manage it,
Probably not.
since she's still grappling him.
Correct.
I mean, technically she could do worse on an athletics check, I guess.
17.
Yeah, nope, not happening. So he's going to give that tug, and not getting any purchase, he is just going to fall back. Let's see, how much did he take to get there? 5, 10, 20, 25, 30. So he's going to get to there and just shout to the others, fall back! And that is his turn.
Arvid, death saving throw.
Griswold can't hear shit.
Yep,
But the thing is, I don't think he would leave Ragnar and Signe there.
he would not.
Johan, what are you going to do?
How's the lighting in here? Would you say the lighting is dim?
It is pretty dim, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna bonus action cast Shadow Blade. And oh wait, actually, I didn't realize I can Oh, I need 2 caster levels. Never mind. And I don't know why it says spell save DC, but I'm going to attack with that. So do I have? I'm just gonna swing with my war pick since it's the same stats. I just need to roll damage separately if it hits. So 24.
Hit.
9 psychic damage.
All right. Anything else? Gonna move?
No, sorry, no. I'm gonna stay here and continue to try to go toe to toe with this person.
All right, Ragna, death save.
Yep. Yes. Woohoo!
Right back up.
Nice.
Does she get an action this turn?
I think it's technically at the start of your turn that you roll. I don't remember.
I'll look it up.
It's not often we roll death saves and nat 20 on them.
I know that most of the DMs I play with have treated it as it's at the start of your turn, but I don't remember if that's raw or if it's just them being like, no, it's way more awesome if you get a turn the same time you nat 20.
Yeah, so whenever you start your turn, you make a death saving throw.
So yeah, she still has a turn.
Cool. Then she is gonna come right up and attack furiously with her sword. Miss twice. And that's the wrong one, but anyway. Miss twice anyway.
By the way, I'm no longer protecting you. I saw you go down and didn't think you were getting back up.
That is okay.
Well,
Right, I didn't think of any healing.
she can do up to 3. So Signe, she is going to attempt to grapple you with another strand of her creepy, weird hair. So there's no save against it, but except that your turn, you can do a strength save. The others have chosen not to do that. You may do the same, but she will attempt to attack. Well, she's gonna, she's gonna attack Arvid and Ragna again.
I'm on the ground. Disadvantage. Oh, disadvantage. Fuck it. It was worth a go.
So
damn,
17 or
Cena.
26.
17. So yeah, I just take a fail.
Yeah.
Damn, seeing her go for the killing blows kind of changes things.
And then it's on Ragna, it's a 29 and a 19.
Yep.
So you're down again.
Yep.
And it is Signe's turn. You are grappled for whatever that's worth.
Well, but now she can't run.
I was gonna say, Signe's like, she's not grappling. She's not trapped in here with me. I'm not trapped in her in here with her. She's trapped in here with me. That's the one I'm looking for.
Yes. I know what you meant. The second one hits her.
Let's see here. That's right. I don't get smites or anything.
So, yeah, you can't
Yeah, I
move.
guess that's it. Yeah.
Griswold, you didn't hear anybody screaming to run away.
Nope. So he's going to 5, 10, 15 come and attack him with her dagger. His dagger. Oof. Dagger. Miss. And then fall back 15 again.
Callum, no one's listening to you.
Yeah, that's okay. So Arvid and Ragna are both unconscious still. Arvid's got how many fails on death? She's
Just
been hit
one
at least
now.
once.
One.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause he succeeded on the first one.
But still too close for comfort.
Although technically, he right now he just has one fail. Yeah, I guess I don't know if you're. Yeah, so you have one success and one fail. Never mind. I just confused myself for a second.
So Callum at this point is just going all in on the try to kidnap Arvid plan. Gonna try to drag him away again. I'm assuming that's an athletics check against her.
Yep. Got to be to 20.
Well, that didn't happen. I've got 2 attacks. I'm gonna try it again.
Oh.
So
You would break free of
sweet.
the hair.
Callum, let's see, he had to move like 5, 10, 15, 20 feet to get there. It's half speed with Arvid. So 30, 40. Yeah. Dragging Arvid. Got to go this way. 30, 40, 50. So get Arvid to here.
I think to drag him though, it would be essentially like difficult terrain because it's not
Yeah.
just you moving by yourself. So you.
Yeah, that's why I was taking 10 feet per step.
Okay, cool.
I just have 55 feet of movement speed, so.
So you said he's there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I still have a bonus action and 1 key point. Arvid's getting a hand of healing. Arvid gains 7 HP.
Yay!
If you were blinded, deafened, paralyzed, poisoned, or stunned, you're not anymore. Not that I think you were any of those things. And Callum would just be like, "We need to get out of here. What can you do?" And then he still has 5 feet of movement, so he is going to step up to here. And that's his turn.
All right, Arvid.
Well, what can I do is a relative question. As the smoke starts to fill the top of the room, he's going to call down the lightning. If I cast it there, am I just hitting her or am I hitting everyone?
What's the spell say?
Uh, 5 feet.
So.
Yeah,
And
it's
there's. I mean, it says 100 feet. There's not 100 feet above
yeah.
you.
So I'll have to do something else. Okay, I'll just leave it as casting a healing word at 3rd level to Ragnar.
Alrighty. It is Johan's turn.
10 points of healing.
Thank you. Whoops.
That was only my bonus action. So my action is casting a Quace Bolt at her. And I have lots of water around me. I assume a 23 hits?
It does, and she saves.
No.
She's actually quite strong.
No shit.
You can see that she is. I mean, you probably notice the cuts and the slashes and the you know, you're making a dent in her at this point.
Is she like grounded to a water source or anything like that?
Does not appear so. She's not standing in
Okay.
water at the moment.
Okay, I didn't know if like maybe something like that was going on. I will swing with my Shadow Blade again. I take it an 11 misses.
It does.
Damn. And I will continue to stay within range.
All right, Ragna.
Ragna is up again. And she will attack her twice.
It's definitely hit.
And she has no more spell slots for Divine Smite. So that is all she can do.
All right. Since she is already next to her, she is going to release Signe from her grappled hair. She's going to grab you two and pull you over. And as part of that process, Callum, you take 17 points of slashing damage,
Ow!
and Arvid takes 11.
Ow.
And
Are you
then
down
she
again, Arvid?
will-
Yep.
She's going to then attack
Oops.
Ragna again. And Ragna, you were unconscious again. And she will use her second legendary action to attack Signe.
Just imagine how torturous it would be to be like knocked unconscious, healed to consciousness, knocked unconscious again.
And you're raging, so you take half of this. And unfortunately, I rolled poorly. So you take 10 points, Signe. And it is your turn.
Well, I mean, as long as I can still reach her, I don't have to jump in the pool, right?
Nope, and you are not grappled by her hair either. So you can move. $15 does hit.
I mean, I don't really want an attack of opportunity, so I guess I'm gonna stand right here.
All right.
Plus,
It
I
is
really want my
Griswold's turn.
sister back.
Yeah, he's going to. He can get there with 25, I think it was. Oops.
I mean, to be fair,
14?
sorry, I was just reading the. These are like Johan's not even hurt.
No, I know. That's why I'm sticking around, but I'm just like, man, she's ignoring me. Like,
Well, you aren't doing any. You like hit her with a war pick that did nothing. You're not a threat.
that hurts
14.
my feelings.
A 14 does not
It's
hit.
funny because it's
Okay.
true.
And he's gonna go 5 back.
Ooh.
All right, Callum, you can't run anymore. Unless you
Yeah.
break free.
That
DC
is
16
very true.
DC 16 strength save if you want to attempt to get away. You can also attack.
Save
You
or check?
can also attack the hair.
Oh.
I didn't realize that was an option.
Yeah, Callum, let's try attacking the hair. Let's see what happens. I dropped my stick, so I'm stuck with magical bludgeoning. Six bludgeoning to the hair.
You break some strands, but you can't get free. The reason I didn't mention it, and it's a surprise to me, the hair has an AC of 19.
Okay, I was gonna say, I bet the 12 misses the hair.
It does. The 20, I was like, I'm surprised.
The 23 hits the hair
Yes, it does.
for another 8 bludgeoning.
It is hanging. You are not free, but you're close to being free.
Well, that's okay.
Hanging
'cause
by a thread. Is that what you were
that
about
is-
to say?
Hanging by a thread. Literally,
that has to be my whole turn.
Because again, this is what happens in D&D. You did 14 points of damage. The strands of hair have 15 hit points.
Yep, that's my whole turn. If I can't move, that was my action and bonus action.
Arvid, death save. All right, Johan.
Seeing Callum working himself free, I'm going to go and attack the hair as well. Even with advantage, that appears to fail.
It does.
That's it for me.
I should remember, monks are proficient in strength saves, because why?
Yeah. Death save for Ragna.
Oof.
That's 2 fails.
See, but now the thing is, I can't heal Ragna while she's in that zone of no speaky.
Do you just not have ranged healing?
I don't. Well, I do, but it's only if I deal necrotic damage.
Right.
Oh, well, technically, I could attack someone else and use it to heal her.
If you... I mean,
If she
like,
doesn't die right here, though.
So, I think Ragna will die. Because she will
Oh.
attack. She will attack a downed creature.
There she goes.
off into the night.
Where's Zabilna? God, why hasn't she showed up yet?
Now, remember, this is a
Whoops.
world where people can be resurrected, so it's not necessarily you got to say goodbye, but
Yeah.
you're dead right now. And then she would attack Callum.
Yep.
Actually, she'll swing at you once with her claws. What's your AC?
AC is 18.
So she'll miss with the claw, but then she will actually pull you in and also give you a kiss.
Oh,
So it's
such a
a
smooch.
charisma saving throw.
Oh, I am not good at those either. I would have preferred the strength save earlier.
And her paladin's down.
Yep. Ragna can't help you.
You take 7 points of strength damage.
My strength is now 6.
I thought you were gonna say I am now
Yes.
dead.
I can't use my birthday boon on anyone else, can I?
I mean, any save or any roll that you would make would be a success.
But it's character specific. You can't
Correct. It
loan
would
it
have to
to
be
anyone.
it'd have to be one of your rolls.
Okay.
And Ragna is down, but Signe avenges her, and that actually is enough to kill
Ooh.
the drowned maiden.
Pick me up, quickly.
Griswold's gonna run to Ragna. I think
I
that's
mean-
something he would do.
Signy's
Callum
gonna
will
quickly fumble in her pockets, pull out a strange yellow potion, pull it out with her teeth, and
Sam, your mic muted like halfway through that.
shit. Sorry. Take out a funny yellow potion from her pocket, rip out the cork with her teeth, and hold Ragna's head up to her chest and just force the liquid down her throat. Just Please work, please work, please work.
Callum's going to make a medicine check on Arvid to make sure Arvid is stable. Hey, Arvid, you're stable.
And that would be one of the funky healing potions, but
Yeah, it's a regular healing potion and would not. She would not swallow it. It would basically just fill up her mouth.
at seeing that it's not working, she just tries to massage the throat and just, anything she can just to make her sister drink it. And-
Griswold will go to the others and say, "Who can resurrect her?" Something like that.
Not I. Arvid maybe, but Arvid won't be able to even be up for a while, and by then I fear it will be too late. Unless someone has a way to heal him.
Yeah, I'll
Wait,
go
I have
and
2 of these.
bring him up.
Pull out the other potion and hand it over.
I got it. I will cast Cure Wounds on Arvid to heal him for 8.
Bloody hell, that didn't go well. Ooh.
Can you save Ragna? And I'll motion towards her lifeless corpse.
Yeah,
Eyes open, the death stare.
Yeah, I'll stumble across just to check the pulse and make sure dead, which is a stupid thing to say. I assume dead.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Just be fucking glad I bought one. Goodbye 300 GP diamond. As he pulls out a diamond from his pouch, places it upon her chest, and presses it as hard as he can as it begins to smoke and shine and enter. As he uses his last fucking slot and casts Revivify.
Woohoo.
I mean, if I really wanted to be a stickler, she's probably died more than a minute ago, but I'll allow it.
I mean, she just died. We had a round. It took a round to get Arvid up.
Well, don't expect that too often. I've got no more of those left.
Ragnar will kind of weakly put a hand on Arvid's leg and say thank you.
Don't worry about it.
Thank you so much.
And Ash will come up and lick your face.
Yay.
All right, so we'll take a quick break there since we were past our normal break, and then we will continue investigating the remains. There is nothing left to attack or kill you, so you can investigate at your leisure when we return.
So he says.
And then the ooze falls from
Fair.
the ceiling.
Yes.
Yeah, black pudding time, guys.
All right, just a couple of minutes. We'll pick up.
All right.
Investigation check reveals why they closed off this bit of cave.
Yep.
It's like everybody was beat to crap. Ragna died, and Johann didn't lose a single point of HP.
Now that's what I call a bad time.
Well, it could have been worse, because I feel like if you had discovered that first, you would have been in a lot more trouble, because the rest of the cave could have come behind you.
Oh, definitely. But still.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the rest of the cave would have followed us in there.
Well, yeah, they may have tried to shoot some arrows at you, though.
Well, I am currently over capacity because I have a strength of 1.
Callum's still not. I think Callum could be at 1 and not be over capacity.
So yeah, I'm completely enfeebled and can't even move at this stage.
Signe can
bad.
carry your stuff.
Well, yeah, I'll take his pack and I'll ask her, come here, girl. You're gonna carry Arvid for a bit, okay?
I'd walk, but apparently she's not a very good kisser.
Agreed.
Honestly, the way you just saved my sister, I'd do more than kiss ya.
Probably best not here, at least.
Seriously though, Arvid, thank you.
Like I said, I have the magic, it's just, if I to do it again, I'd need another expensive piece of material to do it.
I'll get started on that. And Signe will start going around chopping off fingers.
So I will say, if you would like we'll say even like Callum, are you proficient in medicine?
Yes.
All right, just do another medicine check. You did 17.
Sure.
I'll guide you. Because I can still reach out to people, but I'm not doing anything physical.
13.
So I would say that you're not sure exactly how long, but from your studies, situations like this tend to resolve themselves with rest and recuperation. It's probably extended. This is not going to be like, oh, I take a long rest and everything's fine. It's you have to stay off your feet for a while, and eventually you'll recover your strength.
Kind of like a 1 per day type thing.
Essentially that type of. I mean, there's not an exact, because the rules aren't really there. I mean, like in some cases it is a long rest, but this is not as I mentioned, this is not a Wizard of the Coast creature. So
yeah. Fortunately, I imagine this is nothing a little rest and relaxation can't fix. And if none of you mind, I'm going to get started on that. And Callum is literally going to short rest, like right here in this cave, which means he's going to try to find his inner peace and meditate, which means he's probably going to fall asleep.
Well, if we're taking a short rest, I can still kind of cast, and doing that I'll bring forth the half of moonlight.
yeah, between you and your bard that you left behind, you guys can do some pretty nice recovery on rests.
Yeah, I can just pretty much make sure we are never found.
If I had any key left, I could give extra healing, but I used all my key, so I can't.
Yeah, I think I'm spending all 6 of my die.
Not gonna lie, there was a little moment in my head of like, oh no, we're gonna TPK. I'm not gonna be able to play Callum. So sad.
Well, like I said, Johan was totally fine. I think eventually he might have been able to outlast her. It depends. He was pretty low, so if everybody died and he was just able to pick away at her, literally.
Well, you say this, but then it was just like I guess when after what was it, Ragna did like 60 something points of radiant damage, and you're like, yeah, she looks fine. I was like, holy shit, there's no way I'm powering through this.
Yeah, she had a lot of hit points.
Yeah, well, I'm also realizing that I got a lot of AoE damage, not so much single target.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to throw something at you that was kind of scary.
Yeah,
so.
no, it was
I liked her.
solid.
I mean,
That's
to be
fun.
fair, bud, you left me with 1 strength.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, at least it didn't cut your arm off or your hand off. Like, I've done that multiple times.
Hey, I was fucking waiting for it.
Oh, that's a good point. I mean, if Arvid died, then Ragna would have also been dead there.
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
and I was like, well, I guess Signate's a goner because like
That's why I was
ultimate
like,
rage mood.
that's why I was like, oh, my one key point is absolutely going to try to save Arvid because Arvid can probably fix other people easier. The best Signe is going to do is lay on hand someone and then immediately die because it took her action.
Like,
Well, that's
even,
what I
But we're-
figured.
Well, we're doing the critical role rules as well. So if somebody dies, I mean, you could get them to a cleric and then do the whole resurrection thing where you can be resurrected and then you suffer from like essentially resurrection sickness, where your abilities are lessened for a certain period of time.
Yeah, it's the raise dead spell.
Yeah.
It's
And
just they do the extra added step of like you need to do rolls to see if it succeeds.
right,
I
call
mean-
their spirit back.
if it makes you all feel better, I had 2 first-level spell slots left.
Yeah, I mean, I had what was it, a first level spell slot, 2 second levels, 2 third levels.
54 hit
I
points.
just yeah, 54 hit points, a ton of AC. Part of me at one point was wondering if I should summon my steed and start riding it.
All right. So you guys can continue to do a little bit of a rest. You can search around the cave for stuffs.
Yeah, I want
Yeah, is there any
fingers.
fingers?
I want
Okay.
fingers.
I want to just check the drowned lady to see if there's anything valuable on her or in the pools around
I want
here.
that bitch's fingers.
You can take them off.
Yeah.
Good.
They are very terrifying looking with massive like retractable like claws that she sliced you all up with.
Disgusting. I want to fish the bones out of them.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Oh yeah.
lie
I'm
on
like, Sam,
Asta.
why are you being so obsessed with being gruesome and getting fingers? But now I remember exactly why you're getting all the fingers.
Use in a bowl and make some money.
Yeah, I'm
Get
gonna.
another diamond.
I'm gonna just lie on Asta, like follow people around and just guide them. Because, like I said, 30 feet, I can just guide people.
So yeah, with a bunch of finger bones, in 100 days you can buy another diamond. Because you get 3 gold a day, and it's 300 gold, right? And the 300 gold diamond, isn't that what it is?
Yep.
I think Griswold would search around.
What's a D4?
So I will say, outside, and you probably would have noticed this when you guys were moving the bodies out. You saw footprints in the sand going to the north. Essentially, assuming then with your investigation that that's where that guy who rang the bell and ran away, that guy and the captain probably ran away.
Aren't we here for the captain?
He was one. I mean, she basically wanted you to find her crew and kill all the pirates. There wasn't a
And-
specific mandate to kill him exactly, but
And killing all the pirates was a higher mandate than actually rescuing her crew.
correct.
She's a horrible person.
I mean, she's a pirate.
Well, I guess we haven't finished killing all the pirates yet, but we're probably at a point where we should rest.
Chasing after him may not be the best in your current state.
Callum is snoring gently against a cave wall.
So I will just kind of go around. I guess it doesn't really matter specifically where these things are that you find. So I'll just kind of go down the list if somebody wants to make a list of all the things that you find. So within the where the majority of the rum is being stored, which is down here, you also find that there are barrels that are strewn about with the rest of the alcohol, but don't actually contain alcohol, and in fact contain some coins and jewels that are worth about 100 gold pieces.
I think
So we'll
Griswold would immediately give that to Arvid.
Arvid, yeah.
So just mark 100 gold pieces. You
Yeah.
don't have to like differentiate the jewels or whatever.
I mean, Arvid would have immediately dropped it all because he can't carry it.
Right. So yeah, so if you're a little backpacking, like Signa said, you just strap it to Aster's back. She's got a strength of 16, so she's good.
I mean, I also have a bag of holding, so I can
That
just
too.
toss stuff in there.
Do you make any attempt to search the ship that you partially burned?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought somebody searched that already. But they were just looking for people, right?
Correct.
Again, like I said, I'll happily just guide people because I'm not doing shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just taking the Griswold's 27, 28 for the whole place. No point in rolling multiple ones. So upon the ship, you find a lot of money. Here, let me just, because this is split up. So let me. I split this up into gems, but now I don't want to do that. So
Is there 300 gold worth of diamonds?
not diamonds, but you get about 1,400 gold off of the ship.
Oh, goodness.
Fair.
So, Tara, sorry, are you marking it as like 1,400 gold, or are we just splitting it right now?
I'm marking it down right now, but we can split as well.
We'll deal with it later.
Okay.
Because we're probably going to buy supplies and things like that before splitting it, I imagine.
Yeah, I'm going to insist on more diamonds.
So you get upon the investigating as well. I mean, investigating out in the back in the cove where all that it appears to be some necromancy, some dark spells that were being cast by those guys that got caught up in the brambles and all that fun stuff. And sorting through, you find like some letters back and forth. They appear to be from Captain Osram and a nameless person. Though when the conversations are back and forth, the person is referred to as a she, but you don't get a name. And to probably Callum's particular interest, you're guessing here that this revenant, this undead creature, was actually not what they were attempting to summon. The captain was requested by this woman to, and you get the impression that he's just one of the people that has been charged with doing this, but the attempt is actually to resurrect fallen heroes of the various gods. So in this case, they were actually attempting to resurrect a fallen hero of Cord, basically bringing this demigod and making them undead.
Well, it's a
That
good
is
thing they
that
failed.
yes, that did appear to fail, as what they resurrected was not what they were attempting to resurrect.
I mean, right now Callum has no idea what's going on, but that'll be interesting to him later once we're done searching.
And the final thing of interest that you find is a fairly large egg.
Can someone arcana that to try to discern its origin?
Or animal
Yeah.
handling.
Griswold will arcana it.
I've
Animal
got some
handling too.
animal
We'll just do it just for fun. We'll do an animal hunting as well. I think
Yeah.
Signe is and all of the animal handling. 26, 20,
Not
27.
really.
Well, you know. It's a dragon egg.
Holy shit.
Shit, what?
Well, that's quite
Um,
interesting.
I will say, with the 26 and the 27, you don't know the color, but it is a chromatic dragon egg. So you don't know if it's a blue dragon or a red dragon or black dragon or whatever, but you know that it's not a metallic dragon egg.
Or is it the metallic ones that are good? Or the
Yes.
Metallic, good, chromatic, evil, gem,
Well,
neutral.
in
Again,
general,
yeah,
yeah.
and that's
In general.
I go with the general because I despise the generalize. You're this race, you're this thing, then you are inherently evil. I don't like that.
Yeah, it's
But
kind of like
yes,
nature versus nurture type feel.
right. So in many cases, I won't even say in most cases, but in many cases, chromatic dragons are evil. The two dragons that you had learned about, the blue dragon and the black dragon, are known to have been evil in their existence.
Well, I think we should probably take it with us.
It seems like
Yes.
a good idea.
Leaving
Definitely.
something like this is probably not for the best. But what do we do with it?
Well,
No, raise it maybe.
well, no creature is inherently evil. So, if it's taught to, well, simply be good, which is a weird understatement, then I don't see any harm.
I will say too, with your very high animal handling rolls, that they can essentially a dragon egg can be dormant for essentially ever. It would just take intense heat, essentially, to hatch it. And in general, the approved theory is that like dragon fire is what would be required to heat it enough. So you couldn't just cast fireball on it and it would hatch. It has to be sustained heat, a very, very high temperature. And whether or not that's truly the dragon breath is dragon fire is the only way to do it is probably unlikely, but that's the story.
I wonder how white dragons hatch their eggs.
They find another dragon to do it for them. Well, regardless of the disposition of the potential offspring of this egg, I feel that we do not have the resources or ability to hold on to this. Whether we can hatch and raise the dragon ourselves is a question on its own, but just having it around is a threat to us all.
We could hold on to it for a little bit and take it back to the Nexus at some point.
Well, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Well, which one of us wants to hold on to the child?
I would, but I can't right now.
Can it go into a bag of holding, or is it considered a living thing?
I mean,
question.
living things can go into bags of holding. It's just a question of if they need to breathe.
Oh,
Does egg need to breathe?
no.
That's a good question. I mean, I think you could make arguments for both of those. But I would say probably would be okay to put in there because I mean I don't imagine that there is a tiny sleeping dragon that's breathing inside of that egg at the moment.
Yeah, quick Google search says that eggs come with a little air sac inside.
So there you go. It'd be fine.
I am just voicing my opinion on the matter. I think we would be better off giving this to someone like Zabilna. She has both the means to take care of and or hatch this egg, and also the power to handle any problems that might come with such a responsibility.
I can ask her about it tonight.
I wouldn't give a dragon to Zabilna.
I wouldn't give a dragon to humans in Stormhaven.
I can
Good
contact
thing we're
someone
not
else.
Stormhaven.
What was that, Arvid?
I can contact someone else.
Well, if you have someone else that can manage it, then by all means.
Who is it?
Well, like, Zabilna is the queen, the ruler of that section of the Feywild. There's actually a general queen of the Fey. The one I actually serve.
What would be the difference between Zabilna and your ruler?
Well, Zabilna has a past of while doing some nice things, generally not being as nice and helpful as where Queen Titania is actually known for keeping order.
I suppose I can accept that, though I admit Zabilna has been nothing but nice to me.
Regardless, if we're giving it to some powerful person in the Feywild that resolves that issue, just try to get something for it. I feel that even people of their status would find value in such a commodity.
Well, when I have a proper rest, I'll try to reach out to Queen Titania or even Satalva, see if he can arrange something. You know, the dragon.
Yes, I remember him.
He really is a fairy dragon, unlike that revenant. So, you guys can then return to the the Winter Gull, if there's nothing else that you want to do here.
Well,
Ah.
we could
Go ahead.
always go up the mountain, or I assume that this is just their base camp. If they retreated somewhere, there's likely more information we could glean from their real base. Do you guys have any opinions on that?
I'm
Oh, go ahead.
I'm not exactly in the right shape to pursue someone up a mountain right now.
And Ragnar would also say, I would like to go after them, but yes, I'm also far too tired for such a thing.
I mean,
As-
let's be honest, we kind of got the shit kicked out of us.
I think we were doing rather well until that thing.
Well, we could always try to resupply and come back. They
That is
will either
true.
still be here or have disbanded, I'm sure.
Ragna and Callum, do religion checks real quick.
Sure. Ed is not in the game. He's still snoozing.
Ragna, you would have a general not you you would have heard something similar to that the drowned maiden and that the type of sort of undead, essentially that she herself was likely of a sacrificial victim, and that the reason and essentially that she was almost became undead because she couldn't let go of her anger and her rage, whether it be about her own death or something that happened around the time that she died. So even though she kicked the crap out of all of you, she herself is actually she was somewhat of a victim and a sad creature on her own, and that she wasn't she sort of became a you know a creature of hatred and violence, but still kind of sad at the same time.
Yeah,
Maybe it'd be difficult for you guys to feel pity for her after what she did, but yeah, I mean, like in and of itself, she's not just some brain dead zombie that was. There's a bit of a tragic story behind her existence, I guess.
So if we found her sooner, we could have unleashed her on the pirates that.
I mean, potentially,
wronged
she
her.
wasn't specifically. She was. She could have. I guess it's likely, in fact, that if the pirates had gone in there with you all, she would have attacked them as well.
Ragna would have told that to everybody and kind of put a hand on her broken religious symbol and said, I'm glad she found peace, even if she was very hard to get down.
Well, that's why I was trying to get through to her at first, but well, we kind of saw how that went.
And that
Yeah.
was also a potential thing. And there's a very, very high charisma or persuasion check to beat her, to convince her not to, do what she did.
She was far too upset, too angry about what happened to her.
Well, rage can do that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
A different type of rage, my dear.
Yeah, no.
So I will say as well, you looking around. So now that you're sort of out on the beach, you get the impression that there probably isn't a whole lot. Like it's not really a mountain that you would be running up or anything like that. Like this was like considering, especially because this is where their ship was docked. This is probably where they were spending most of their time when they were not on the sea. So it's unlikely that you would be able to like go anywhere else on this particular little out inlet and find the captain. He is likely slipped through your fingers.
Well, if we destroy the ship,
Not a not a bad idea.
maybe he'll just be stranded. So I will try to use some of the rum to soak the deck in something flammable and drop a torch to it. And once I see the ship go up in flames, I will return to the group and pick up the husband of the captain. And shall we?
There we go. I'll put a big old flaming
Yeah.
icon over it.
Well, Asta, would you like to lead the way? Because I'm requiring your legs.
Yes, I'll go
She's
wake up
probably
Cal.
trying to like root out and eat all of the fingers that, that Signa has cut off. She can smell them.
Oh, Callum
Yeah,
has been
yeah.
up and moving, but he is still going through the process of praying over bodies. He's nearly done.
Listen, Aster, you have to wait. Can't have you choking on no bones. Plus, I need them to make Money.
Well, you know, you can use
Hold
her to,
on.
you can use her to just clean off all the bones, you know?
I don't need the fingernail, you weirdo.
So, upon returning to the Winter Gull, you know, we won't. It's getting closer to our end time, so I don't want to. We won't necessarily have to. We can just assume that you had the discussion with the captain there, explaining what you saw,
Oh,
that her husband
mean-
and her crew is gone.
Well, I
Before
would bring
we
back
even-
the husband's body. Oh, what?
Before we even go, Kyla would point. Do we really want to go back?
Of course.
To what end exactly?
We have to tell her what happened. And then we have to get her to take us to the pirate town.
Oh, I thought we were already nearly at the pirate town.
No, you're at a. So I'm gonna put it back here. You're a decent distance away from there. So you can see on the map. So Zanambra is there, and Aster is where you guys are.
Hmm.
It would be you could walk, but it would probably not be ideal with your current Arvid situation. Also, she told you she was going to pay you, so more
Yeah,
money.
but we also failed our mission. In Callum's case, intentionally.
We got most of the pirates, and we got at least her husband's body back.
Most is not all. That was her requirement.
She can decide for herself.
She doesn't need to know that 2 of them got away.
Fair. If you wish to do the talking, by all means.
I will do the talking. We have nothing to hide.
That was more, yeah, I was more just throwing out options, but I don't think it would be wise to lie to her right now. Especially considering she's our ride back.
I think if we tell her that the pirates were not completely eradicated, she's going to go and try to hunt the rest of them down, and there will be more bloodshed that is, at this point, unnecessary.
That is her prerogative.
I feel it would be for the greater good if she did not know.
I feel that we shouldn't be lying to her right now.
Then we should
considering
walk.
need her.
It's not up to any of us to decide who we tell or withhold the truth from. All we should do is return to the ship, give her the information, and allow her to make her own choice. That's the best you can do.
To extend that logic, we should have come here, told them that she was trying to kill them, and let them make a choice. That was not the path we chose then.
Yeah, well, it's the one we took, so shut up and get on the boat.
Split the party. You know.
We'll meet you in Zanambra.
Callum's fast. He'll make it. Eventually.
Because I'm
Probably.
sure that that Griswold wants to go back and get money. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is this.
clicking on that in Discord brings up nothing. So
Yeah, that's weird.
fucking dark.
Oh no, it's actually dark. If you click open original, it'll work. And it's there, but it's just black when you click on it.
Yeah.
No idea why. I think because actually it might be because of my dot jots. I copied this from Word.
Ah. Yeah, you gotta do like a base white text, not a base black text.
Oh, just a second.
It's okay. In any case, I mean, If that is the course you all wish to take, obviously I will not stop you. Just, it seems a shame to cause more bloodshed where it is not needed.
Also, I'm going to do this here. So I'm going to move the bag of holding into the important items. And then I will go ahead and then
My bag of holding.
I'll just remove all this. Well, we all know what a bag of holding does. So I'm just going to remove all of the text on the bag of holding, and then you all can now should be able to edit it, and you can just put the stuff that's in the bag of holding in this as well. That might be helpful. You can also just, I mean, it doesn't necessarily, you can also just put your loot there if you want. Doesn't really matter if it's specifically in there if you just want to keep track of it.
Okay, I threw the stuff in there.
All right, so just so that we can get ourselves in a good spot for the next session, you talk to the captain. She is obviously upset to have lost her husband, but she does give each of you 75 gold pieces for your efforts. She drops you off in Zenambra, which I have a map for. And she sort of, you get the impression that, she was hoping that, that things would have turned out a little bit differently, obviously. But, she thanks you, gives you the 75 gold, and then she doesn't wait around in Zenambra, and you can see that the Winter Gull takes off towards the east. Upon entering Zenambra, you immediately see that this was originally an elvish settlement based on the architecture that you can see. The oldest architecture that you can see appears to be elven in make, but unlike Stormhaven, though there were originally some roads and stuff, most of the buildings themselves are quite haphazard, and there's not like a real specific city plan for this place. People sort of like the buildings that are not elvish, you can see, are made of all different types of material. People are just building things that they could, whatever materials they could grab to build a place, they did. What you would expect from a pirate town. It is rowdy, it is loud. There are, people fighting in the streets. A bunch of drunkards just like stumbling around. So it doesn't surprise you when you arrive. It's pretty much what you were expecting to see, and that's what you got. Well, I'll go into further detail as well, but I would assume that what you're probably going to want to do is rest up for a while. So finding a place to rest would probably be your first priority, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, or more appropriately, find a place to barricade.
Yeah. So as part of that, in Discord, I might just put together like a name of a place that you guys could rest up. Assuming you guys will then get at least a week or so, if not more, of downtime to get your strength back, literally, as well as go ahead and level yourselves up after
Yay!
beating the drowned maiden.
Fair.
And so now some of you can finally multi-class into those things that you need to multi-class into. So with that, those of you that are not resting and recuperating, start thinking about what you might want to do, what you might want to be looking for as far as this money now that you have. Obviously, diamonds. There really wouldn't be any place that you would, be able to train any skills or anything like that specifically. Obviously, Ragnar could continue learning Sylvan from the bedridden Arvid.
It's not like he's going anywhere.
Oh shit, I got a 4th level spell now? I've never seen spells this high.
Fourth level's solid.
Most campaigns fizzle out by now. I believe this was session 18, I think, if I'm doing my math correctly.
I would have to look back at the recordings.
Pretty sure it's 18. So yeah, we'll assume that you guys do have a couple of weeks. So in addition, so like I'll put together some stuff too. So kind of the lay of the land, some of the, I guess try to think about like what your next steps would want to be. So like who would you want to talk to? Who would you want to seek out? Like where obviously Israel was a place that you wanted to potentially head towards to find out more about dragon cults and the like. But resting here first obviously would have been the so. What type of information do you want to ask around about and that type of stuff? So be thinking about that.